Hey, what's up there, guys? My name is Rob, and today's video I'm going to be talking about vaping and in general the Kanger Sub Mini and how it's worked great for me in the past couple of months. And so, I'm always approached by people on the streets that ask me, questions about vaping, and they're very skeptical about it. They're not too sure if it's going to work. So, I wind up usually telling them my how I quit story. And my how to quit story, or how I quit story, basically, my older sister, which, I will always be grateful, she started vaping. She was telling me about it when I went to go visit family in Hawaii. And so she was telling me how well it worked, and me, being someone that's tried patches, gums, and all that other stuff, I was skeptical about it. It felt sketchy to me, and I just really couldn't see myself, thinking like, okay, vaping on an electronic product was, really gonna replace a pack of cigarettes that, I was so used to smoking for God knows how long. I was a heavy smoker. I smoked a lot. I smoked about 2 packs a day, depending on how the day was. If it was very social, it was like 2 packs a day. If I was normally around just my family, just by myself, a pack would last me about a day and a half. And so I decided to make the jump, and I bought a couple of e-cigarette pens. They were from a brand called Ego. Tried those out, and they actually started to work. But I got weak-minded, and I relapsed. So I went back to cigarettes for about half a year. And then I decided to try again, and it just goes on from there. So it was basically last February that I had picked up e-cigarettes again, and just went full throttle, threw away all my cigarettes, threw away every bag of tobacco, because I was actually rolling my own cigarettes with the machine and the cigarette tubes, and I just threw it all away, just tossed it out, and totally relied on vaping. And I can tell you guys the first couple of months is pretty hard. It was hard in the fact that, I still had people around me who smoked cigarettes, and I was vaping, and, I really had to just dig down somewhere deep within inside me. I still don't know where I got the strength to do it, but I dug down deep and didn't touch a cigarette, didn't go back. And after that moment, it started getting easier to the point where, I wasn't even craving a cigarette anymore. And that was probably around my 3rd month vaping. I completely didn't crave a cigarette. But everybody's different. Some people, will still crave around that time, and some people can actually push past it pretty fast. It just depends on your progression and how you think about things. So even if it takes you longer to kind of like push the cravings aside, that's not a bad thing. Like I said, people are different in general. And so one brand that really stuck out for me was Kanger Tech. Of course, they're pretty popular. A lot of people know Kanger Tech, as far as them and Aspire are heavy known amongst the vaping community. And so I started getting into the Pro Tank series and using the Pro Tanks with just your standard cylinder batteries. But see, I know what kind of smoker I am, so I was trying to push the boundary. My, I guess, crutch would be the fact that I liked seeing cigarette smoke. I liked exhaling smoke. And so I needed something that was going to produce a lot. So I picked up a mini box mod, and that kind of did help because I was able to regulate the volts and watts, along with the atomizers that I bought were 1.5 ohms. So I was getting somewhat decent clouds, if you guys want to say that. And so finally, earlier this year, after vaping for almost a year, I decided to step it up a little bit and pick me up the Sub Mini, and also got a bigger battery, or a higher wattage battery that could actually push sub ohming. So now with having sub ohm tank, basically, or Sub Mini from Kanger, and it's basically for novice users in the sub ohm category. This thing runs in what they call an RTA mode, and it has an atomizer that you can rebuild the coil and everything else in it. You could also buy atomizers for it that are pre-built and use them. But I figured, if I'm going to go into this thing, I need to learn how to rebuild coils. And so I wound up picking up some organic cotton and a spool of 26 gauge Canthol wire. So picked it up from Masters of Clouds. And yeah, I've been rebuilding for like a couple of weeks, and it's going out great. The vapor production on this is actually pretty good. I gotta tell you that much. It's actually feeding into, the fact that I like watching smoke or, vape exhale. It's really, really paying into that. Like I said, not so much like the drippers out there, those people who go into the cloud competitions and they blow these really massive, huge lungers, but it does give me like a lot of vape, and really has calmed my cravings down even more. I have to say that, honestly. It's been working out pretty great. So one of the things I get asked a lot on is the whole battery situation, because there's been like tons of horror stories all over the internet about sub-ohming and batteries exploding. And I'm not a professional on it like some of the other guys on YouTube, like Indoor Smokers or Rip Trippers. Those guys are clearly knowledgeable on this. I'm still a beginner. But one thing I did pick up from those guys is usually that kind of stuff happens when people are tinkering around with like the gauge wire, how big of a gauge they're using, and just basically like how they're setting, how their setup is. Like if you're tapping down to like 1.2 ohms, if you're going that low, and you're not properly building correctly, it could lead to an issue with battery explosion. And so really when it comes to the whole sub-ohm thing, with mods and all that stuff, you really gotta do your homework and understand what you're messing with. Which again comes back to the Kanger Sub Mini. Is the reason why I like this. It's like I don't really have to go that far deep into the charts and figure out, resistance to wattage to volts and all that other stuff. Basically, you got your standard setup. It tells you 26 gauge wire used, wrap with five wraps makes it's like the good amount, and you should get like a 0.6 ohm reading when you click and you look on your digital meter. You should get 0.6, should be just about right. Vaping anywhere between 20 to 30 watts is a safe zone. So yeah, the Kanger Sub Mini just really makes it easy, really makes it much safer in my opinion to tap into the whole sub ohm level of vaping. Just the build quality is like on top of everything. It's real premium feeling device, and the fact that it's just real simple to use. Either you can buy atomizers from kangertech.com or even from other websites that are made specifically for this, or you can use the rebuildable atomizer that's given with this and just pick up your own stuff and rebuild yourself, as long as you can follow directions and all that other stuff. I would so totally recommend this to anyone out there vaping who's in the same field as I am, where it's like it matters to them about cloud production, smoke production. This is really gonna, kind of ease your mind and help you along your path of getting off tobacco products. Is gonna be like the best method to go through. And there's other ones out there besides, the Kanger Sub Mini, like Aspire has one and E-Leaf has the Mellow. But to me, definitely like top-notch build, I'd say would be Kanger. Some people disagree, but just like everyone has their preferences again. So a little demonstration for you guys. It's all to it, really. Best juice to use inside here, by the way, would be VG. Go complete VG. From what I noticed, I've experimented with like 80-20 mix, 50-50 mix, 70-30 mix. To me, 100% VG is just doing it just fine. as far as like for a good price battery, the E-Leaf E-Cig 30 is pretty good, but they also have this, I believe it's the 50. The 50 is really good. I haven't bought it yet. I'm planning to get it sometime in the future. It does have a really huge battery that could last you up to 4 days, and that's the reason why I want to get it. But the 50 is supposed to be like really top notch. But basic E-Cig 30 is basically like the lowest you want to go, and any other box mod or variable voltage or anything that can go up to 30 watts is where you want to use this sucker, especially in RTA mode when you're building at 0.5 ohm resistance. So anyways, that's it for this vaping video. A little bit different, but this is just to all the people out there who's vaping. Also, I want to give a big shout out to CV Tech Reviews for picking up an E-Cig and vaping. Congratulations, getting off those icky tobacco products, dude. I'm pushing for you. I'm praying for you that you can stay on the line and quit. And you can always hit me up on Google Plus, like a buddy system type thing, if you have any more questions. And if anyone else there is giving up cigarettes, you can share your story in the comment section of this video, and you'll have my support throughout the entire time until you can completely say that you don't crave a single cigarette, because I can right now. I can be around people who smoke cigarettes and they smell like crap. They don't know how bad it smells. It really does stink. But yeah, you guys can get there too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys did by giving me that thumbs up. And subscribe to all my other stuff that I do on YouTube here besides vaping. Just haven't done a vaping video in a long time. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.